The Imperium of Man, a leviathan of a galactic empire, lurches forward, fueled by blind faith and the grinding gears of obedience. Yet, beneath this ironclad facade, cracks of dissent can erupt into cataclysmic rebellion. Such was the case with the Nova Terra Interregnum, a 900-year nightmare that cleaved the Imperium in two and exposed its festering vulnerabilities like a surgeon's scalpel. Deep within the sprawling Segmentum Pacificus, the civilized world of Nova Terra, once known as Constantinium, hummed with the thrum of industry. This prosperous hub, a loyal cog into the imperial machine for generations, began to exhibit troubling signs of political dissent. The enigmatic Council, the ruling body of Nova Terra, harbored a growing resentment that festered like a forgotten wound. On Nova Terra, whispers of neglect permeated the opulent halls of power. Their planetary government, called the Council, perceived that Segmentum Pacificus's vital sectors received less attention and protection than the core world surrounding the Emperor's throne world. Was there any truth to these claims? Or was it a burgeoning sense of self-importance festering within the Council? Perhaps Nova Terra's strategic location and formidable industrial might inflated their sense of entitlement and worth. Did they truly believe they deserved a more prominent role within the vast Imperium, or were they simply blinded by ambition? A storm was gathering, and the tremors would soon reach a devastating crescendo. In the early 35th millennium, the simmering discontent on Nova Terra boiled over into an open rebellion against the Imperium. In a move that would forever scar the records of imperial historians, the Council severed all ties with Holy Terra, declaring themselves the rightful rulers of Segmentum Pacificus. This audacious act of defiance marked the cataclysmic beginning of the Nova Terra Interregnum, a period that would be a grim testament to the inherent fragility of the Imperium, as breaking civil wars start like this, and many are still ongoing. The once unified Imperium is now fractured. Nova Terra, with its well-developed industrial base and control over a vast region, posed a significant threat. For 9 centuries, a brutal civil war consumed the Imperium. Loyalist forces, fueled by faith in the Emperor and the goal of a united humanity, clashed with those who pledged allegiance to the rebellious Council. Countless worlds became battlegrounds, and entire planetary systems succumbed to the fires of civil war. The Adeptus Astartes found themselves fractured, with some chapters honoring their oaths to Terra, and others swayed by the promises of the Council. Brother turned against brother, making the Imperium's ideals a horrifying mockery. Titans, colossal war machines, lumbered across battlefields, their world-ending weaponry rending apart both loyalists and traitors alike. Bloody battles on ravaged planets did not confine the conflict. The ecclesiarchy, the religious arm of the Imperium with immense political influence, saw an opportunity to bolster its own power in the wake of the rebellion. They declared the Council heretics, portraying them as blasphemous usurpers who dared question the Emperor's divine authority. This opportunistic move ignited a holy war known as the Cataclysm of Souls. Vicious religious wars erupted across countless worlds, further straining the Imperium's already depleted resources and manpower. Brother fought brother, fueled by zealous fanaticism and dogmatic interpretations of the imperial creed. The battlefield became a crucible of faith, where piety and bloodshed intertwined in a horrifying ballet. The ecclesiarchy seized control of countless worlds in the name of the Emperor, their power growing in the shadow of the conflict. The rebellion's tremors sent shockwaves through the Adeptus Mechanicus, the technologically advanced servants of the machine god. A schism, known as the Moire Schism, erupted within their ranks. The obfuscating fog of Martian history obscures the details of this schism, but it likely revolved around the legitimacy of the two competing authorities and control over vital technology crucial to the war effort. Some whispers suggest heretical elements within the Adeptus Mechanicus saw the rebellion as an opportunity to exploit for their own nefarious purposes, potentially introducing forbidden technologies and practices into the fray. This internal conflict further crippled the Imperium's war machine, leaving countless soldiers without the advanced weaponry they needed to survive on the ever-expanding battlefields. The prolonged conflict took a heavy toll on the Imperium. The 21st founding of Space Marines, intended to bolster the beleaguered Imperium with fresh warriors, was marred by chaos and corruption. This disastrous event necessitated the intervention of the Grey Knights, the elite demon-hunting Space Marines shrouded in secrecy. Their clandestine operations purged the taint of chaos from the newly created chapters, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat lurking in the warp, the immaterium, the chaotic realm beyond reality. The exact details of how the interregnum finally ended remain a mystery, lost to the fragmented Imperium's archives. Some accounts suggest a decisive military victory by the Loyalist forces, a crushing blow that shattered the Council's ambitions. They depict epic clashes of titans, vast fleets locked in brutal space warfare, and the faith of the Loyalist Astartes ultimately prevailing. Others posit a gradual decline in Nova Terra's authority. Perhaps economic strains crippled their war machine, or internal dissent within the Council itself fractured their leadership. This theory proposes a slow erosion of support for the rebellion, leading to a reluctant return to the Imperial fold. Whatever the details, they had quelled the rebellion by 975, M35. The Imperium, battered and scarred, stood once more as a somewhat unified entity. Yet the wounds of the interregnum ran deep. The Nova Terra Interregnum left an indelible mark on the Imperium. The 9-century-long conflict had weakened the Imperium's infrastructure, depleted its resources, and fostered distrust between different factions. The ecclesiarchy emerged with increased political influence, having played a significant role in suppressing the rebellion. The scars of religious conflict would continue to fester within the Imperium, a constant source of tension and potential future strife. The interregnum also served as a stark reminder of the Imperium's vulnerability. The Council's near-successful rebellion exposed the weaknesses inherent in such a vast and decentralized empire. It foreshadowed future challenges, where ambitious planetary leaders might consider following Nova Terra's path. The whispers of discontent in other worlds grew a little louder, a chilling reminder that the dream of a unified Imperium remained a fragile ideal. Despite the wealth of information available to Imperial scholars, there are still many unanswered questions and mysteries of Nova Terra. Several aspects of the Nova Terra Interregnum remain shrouded in mystery. Beyond simple rebellion, the true motivations of the Council remain unclear. Were they genuinely neglected by Terra, or was their ambition the driving force? Additionally, the exact nature of the Moirae schism within the Adeptus Mechanicus is a matter of ongoing debate. The fragmentary nature of Imperial records and the inherent bias within them make it difficult to reconstruct a complete picture of the events. The truth behind the Nova Terra Interregnum may forever remain shrouded in the mists of time, a chilling testament to the dangers of dissent and the ever-present threat of fragmentation within the vast and war-torn Imperium of man. The exact status of Nova Terra in the current era remains unknown. Interstellar travel is severely disrupted by the churning warp storms of the Great Rift, so communication with the Segmentum Pacificus is sporadic at best. Some whispers suggest Nova Terra remains loyal to the Imperium, with its factories churning out war materiel to bolster the beleaguered defenders of humanity. Others paint a grimmer picture. Perhaps the Council's spirit of rebellion has rekindled, taking advantage of the fractured Imperium to declare independence once more. Perhaps they have succumbed to the allure of chaos. Their industrial might is now fueling demonic warbands. The fragmented nature of Imperial records and the constant threat of warp incursions make it nearly impossible to discern the truth. Nova Terra, once a symbol of discontent, now embodies the very uncertainty that plagues the Imperium in the age of the Great Rift. The ecclesiarchy's lingering power, the Nova Terra Interregnum, saw the ecclesiarchy exploit the chaos for its own gain. With communication disrupted and faith wavering, the ecclesiarchy's grip on Segmentum Pacificus may have tightened. They might have declared the lost contact with Nova Terra proof of heresy, further consolidating their power in the region. Alternatively, the ecclesiarchy's own influence may have waned. Without clear guidance from Terra and facing potential threats from Nova Terra or other rebellious factions, local religious authorities might have established their own, potentially heretical interpretations of the Imperial Creed. A breeding ground for chaos? The Great Rift has opened a gaping wound in reality, spewing forth demons and corrupting countless worlds. Segmentum Pacificus, already isolated, may be particularly vulnerable. If Nova Terra has indeed fallen to chaos, it could become a staging ground for demonic incursions, further destabilizing the region and threatening the beleaguered Imperium. A spark in the darkness? Perhaps there is a flicker of hope within the darkness. If Nova Terra remains loyal, its industrial might could be a boon to the Imperium's war effort. A well-timed rediscovery of this lost world, with its factories churning out much-needed weapons and supplies, could be a turning point in the fight for survival. The Nova Terra Interregnum, a legacy of mistrust, serves as a chilling reminder of the Imperium's vulnerability to internal strife. In the age of the Great Rift, where survival hinges on unity, the potential for other ambitious planetary leaders to follow Nova Terra's path is ever present. The fractured Imperium must tread carefully, balancing the need for centralized control with the simmering discontent that could erupt into open rebellion once more. The Nova Terra Interregnum may be a relic of the past, but its shadow stretches into the present, a stark warning of the dangers that lurk within the already fractured Imperium of man. My final thoughts on this Imperial Civil War are that uncertain futures, ambition, neglect, or a combination of both can fracture even the most seemingly unified empires, as the Nova Terra Interregnum starkly reminds us. The lingering mysteries surrounding Nova Terra's fate in the age of the Great Rift serve as a microcosm of the vast uncertainties that plague the Imperium of man. Will Nova Terra remain loyal, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness? Or will it succumb to the allure of chaos, or declare independence once more, plunging the already fractured Imperium into deeper turmoil? Only time, and perhaps the courage of the Emperor's servants will tell. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the Nova Terra Interregnum and its long-term impact on the Imperium. As we delve deeper into the grim realities of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, remember that the embers of hope still flicker within humanity. The human spirit's resilience, fueled by faith and courage, may yet help them overcome the seemingly insurmountable challenges that lie ahead. Please don't hesitate to ask if you have any more questions about the Nova Terra Interregnum, the Great Rift, or anything else about the vast and fascinating world of Warhammer 40,000. Until next time, stay vigilant, for the enemies of mankind lurk everywhere, both within and without.